Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at an operating system called Manjaro OS. It is a Linux based operating system that is targeted at the average user, although it is advanced user friendly, and it is packed full of loads of features, so I'll talk to you about them during the video. So let's just create this virtual machine now. And go with other Linux 64-bit, and as it's a 64-bit OS, it's probably best to give it about 4 GB of RAM. That's dependent on your own system that's dependent on your own system specification. So, but I usually keep it around 4 GB. Like I said, that depends on how much RAM you've got though. So let's select next, create. Yes, and let's give it 20 GB of hard drive space and create. And if we put the mount the ISO file onto this as well, as you can see, this one is running the KDE desktop environment, and it's the 17.1.2 release. So let's start it up now and see what it's like. So this is quite an interesting little boot menu that it's come up with here. Installed BIOS system on. There's a memory test there, and obviously this is the option we're going to go for once have a little look at this. Oh, and it's just selected it by itself, I think. Right, so I believe it's booting up. I may have accidentally pressed the enter key there. But there wasn't really much to look at on the obviously boot menu though. I presume that was his boot screen I just saw there. Right, so this is obviously the welcome screen and the obviously try mode. So let's just launch the installer. See, this is what it will look like once it's installed. Well, let's just install it on this VM anyway. Don't want United States, we want United Kingdom. One moment. Sorry about that interruption. Beyond my control though. So here we are back at the installer. As you can see, it's English United Kingdom. Funny that they haven't put a space in between there. So let's just press next. Europe, London. It's got a nice installer UI. I really do like that. UK, and let's go erase disk. You don't need to encrypt the system. Like most Linux distributions, it needs a password to actually install. So let's just go. That's interesting. Make sure you type it in twice on this one. And let's do the same for this one. Okay, that's rather interesting really. And as you can see here, this is a really good one. I like this because then you can see obviously all the settings that you've entered, and then you can confirm them by pressing next. Really is rather nice really. Anyway, so I'm just going to speed up the video and then probably narrate over it. So let's just speed it up. So a quick background on this operating system. It's based on Arch Linux. It's, as I've already mentioned, targeted at average users, although it's advanced user friendly. It also includes codecs for multimedia files, a software updater and a software center apparently, and access to games for your PC, along with pre-installed desktop environments. Its main features also include a vast hardware support, a automatic driver installation, a rolling release development cycle so the user doesn't have to update the OS when a new version is released. So that's the main features of this operating system. Okay, so as you can see, it has completed setup, so let's just quickly go ahead and restart. I like how it's got the option to restart down there as well, that's rather good. It's probably going to ask me to eject the boot medium in a minute, but then I'll do that just yet. So far it's looked pretty smart. Obviously that's partly to do with the KDE desktop environment, looking, as you may have seen on Twitter, as smart as ever, so let's just wait for that to complete. I might speed this up if it takes too long. Alright, so I believe it has successfully installed. So as you can see, this is the start screen here. This is mainly release info by the looks of things, but it's also chat rooms, mailing lists, development and all that sort of stuff, and donate. So I don't particularly want it to start up when it boots up, sorry. So yeah, that's okay, sorry about that. So let's just have a look around the system now at some of the pre-installed apps, shall we? So in development, it's mainly Qt applications, education, it's formula editors, mathematics, same thing. We also have obviously Steam there, and under graphics we've got digital painting is Krita, I can't pronounce that. Document viewer is Ocular. Drawing program is LibreOffice Draw, and then scanning application is Scanlight. KDE image viewer is Gwenview, and graphics editor is Inkscape. So let's have a look at the internet. Obviously we've got Mozilla Firefox. Don't know where we've got Steam on this one. We've got Thunderbird, which is no longer Mozilla. I believe they declared sovereignty from Mozilla, so it's rather interesting. IRC client is Conversation. Oh, I see what they did there. Download manager is kget. BitTorrent client is QBitTorrent. And obviously browse for zero-conf enabled. VNC servers is VNC server browser. I've never used that before in my life, so I don't know what that is. Multimedia, disk burning is K3B. Media player naturally is VLC media player, and media player client is Cantata. Allow testing video for Linux devices. It's another Qt application. Okay, as to be expected, down here, yeah, we've got LibreOffice mainly. We've got also Microsoft Office Online links there, and yeah, most of this is just LibreOffice though, with the exception of a few links to Microsoft Office Online. So let's quickly have a look in the settings, anything interesting. Go system settings and see what's in there. Oh, this wasn't what I was expecting it to be like. I was expecting it to be a sort of Ubuntu settings clone, but it's not. Actually, it looks rather nice. I think that's partly to do with KDE. but everything there is as to be expected really. If we go to something random like time and date, for example, yeah, all looks pretty nice. I like the way it's laid out though. And let's have a look. Applications again. So we've had a look at Office, had a look at settings, system. This is mainly, I think Info Center is the program that opens. Oh no, it's not. I was expecting that to be the program that opened on first boot. But surprisingly it's not. Energy information. I don't think it can show you energy information because this is in a virtual machine, so it probably doesn't have obviously that information anyway. It's quite interesting. And let's see, anything else? Utilities, USB key writers, screenshotting utilities, yeah. I mean, it all looks pretty interesting really. All quite standard programs. Like I said, I like the KDE layout as well. It's really well adapted for the system. So one other thing that I mentioned during the installation was the software center. So if we can find that now, that'd be great. Let's go into applications. I don't think it's going to come up with anything. Well, that's the closest thing I can find to it. I can remove software, so I presume this is it. Octopi. Yeah. These are just all the applications down there. I was expecting it to be something along the lines of the Ubuntu Software Center, but I don't think it's got it in this operating system. But I haven't seen it yet anyway. Yeah, so I think that's basically it anyway. It's rather nice. What's this up here? Oh, that's interesting. Sort of like a miniaturized start menu there. Add widgets. See what that is. This is probably going to be like that weird Windows 7 thing, isn't it? Where we can add different things to it. So analog clock. Let's drag that there. Activities. Activity bar. Drag that there. No, I wasn't expecting to find anything like this. This is interesting. We've got a media player there as well. That's interesting. Oh, it is working. I thought that didn't work then. I wonder if there's anything like one of them processor status ones. We've got a hard disk, an I/O monitor. That's good. Ah yeah, CPU load monitor. That can sit there. We've got a calculator as well. Learn my times tables on that. Oh, now that's interesting. When you click it, it expands, so I can do 8 times 8. Yeah. Oh, hang on, is it? Plus in there. Hasn't got times on there, has it? Oh yeah. Times 8. I mean, it's a bit laggy at the moment. I think that's mainly because I've just put all these on here, and that's basically made everything go rather strange. I mean, I'm completely new to this part of the system, so I'm just exploring really. Minimize all windows. Good idea. Oh, now this is interesting. This was definitely like a Windows 7-esque sort of thing. You could write something down, like, and then you could just drag it over the other side usually. Note settings. Go for a yellow one, blue one. Oh, I prefer a yellow one. Reminds me of Windows 7. Because Windows 7 did have something like that included in it. Any problem oh no, you can sort of move it. But I'd say the only problem I'm facing with it is you can't move it. It still seems to be a problem. I'm sure there's a way to move it, but I can't really. Oh well, that's interesting. So what else is up here, shall we? We've already had a look at configure. Yeah. So that's basically it, really. I mean, that part was completely new to me anyway, and I'm sure it was to you as well. So that's basically it. Oh, I believe we have virtual desktops as well. This is good. Desktop 1, desktop 2. Yeah. So as I said before, that's basically it for today's video. I found this to be quite an interesting operating system, and it seems stable enough. I mean, I believe we can connect to the internet as well, and obviously, let's go into its own page. Yeah, so as you can see, it can connect to the internet because it's loaded its own website up there. Yeah, and it seems rather interesting, really. I quite like this operating system. Sort of, in a way, reminds me of Zorin OS, because it's got a sort of similar-ish layout, although that's partly to do with KDE. So yeah, as I said, thank you all very much for watching, and I'm quite sort of alien to this operating system. I've never actually used it before, so forgive the bits where I go all quiet. So yeah, thank you once again very much for watching, and until the next video, goodbye. Oh, that's interesting.